This week on Taste Utah, we're heading back to Moab in southeastern Utah. Moab has been a popular destination for locals and tourists because of its proximity to the national parks. But what's less known about this bustly little town are the impeccable culinary offerings and fresh farm-to-table style menus like the one at 98 Center. Wife and husband duo Natalie and Alex, along with their co-owner Frank, have been committed to working with local farmers, purveyors, and artisans from the very conception of 98 Center. They wanted to bring local flavor and create community, using the plate as their canvas and painting our palates with fresh, innovative dishes using simple ingredients and time-honored techniques. Taste Utah is always bringing you local flavors from seeds to our authentically Utah restaurants. Behind every good food story is a great people story. It's our farmers, artisans, chefs, restaurateurs, and hospitality professionals that make Utah a dining destination. Food is a necessity, and it's how we cultivate it, share it, and experience it together that truly creates our unique community. You always have a seat at this table. Are you ready to taste Utah? We're on Center Street in Moab. I'm taking you to 98 Center. They're doing Vietnamese Southwest fusion. They are using fresh ingredients. They're introducing tourists and Moab locals alike to what it means to enjoy food from your farmer. We're gonna go talk to Alex. We're gonna meet Natalie. Let's do it. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Katy. Welcome to 98 Center.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Great.
The drive down, beautiful. Like, you just can't go wrong. The views for days, but everyone raves about your food.
Well, Natalie's at the table. We've got a few dishes ready for you.
Oh my gosh.
Go check it out?
I'm hungry.
All right, let's do it.
Lead the way. I mean, Alex, you said that Natalie was gonna have some things at the table for us, but this is like unbelievable.
Thank you. Yeah.
I went a little overboard.
It's our pleasure.
No such thing.
Hey, like, can you ask for one thing? No, we got everything.
You need to throw as much food at me as possible. I mean, the smells are just extraordinary. First of all, I have to say, like, the location, like the interior, what's the design? Like, who designed it? What was the intention? Because it really is gorgeous.
I wanted to go for Art Deco meets Asian somehow.
And a little bit of like Southwest.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and then you have like the warm wood and the warm colors, so it just feels so inviting.
Thanks.
Which after like a hot day on the trails, like that's what you want, right? You want to go in somewhere that almost feels like a hug.
Yeah.
And then get some food that feels like an even bigger hug.
Right.
And this is what I would almost say is like Asian comfort food, like elevated.
Ooh.
You just used one of our words.
Oh yeah.
Elevated, yeah.
Yes. Well, we always say that Utah is like elevating your palate, right? And so, will you just kind of go through what you've placed on the table for us? And I'm just going to start eating.
All right. Well, I'll start with yours.
Okay. Thank you.
Our cheesesteak. So I'm from Philadelphia. So we have my version of a cheesesteak.
I mean, that's
and
beautiful.
it's on a amoroso roll, which is also from Philadelphia. We've got a little side salad next to that.
Gorge.
Thai chili dressing.
Kind of want to taste
This is our pho broth. We also like to call it pho jus.
Pho jus.
Yep.
Love it.
So the combination of the cheesesteak in the pho broth is actually really, really tasty.
That is so clever. And I already have to say, even the salad, like the produce is so fresh and so vibrant.
Thanks.
How cool. I mean, the intentional sourcing, even of like bringing the roll in from Philly. And then
Moving on,
Yes.
we've got our mian che salad here.
Okay.
So we have organic lemongrass chicken. It's a bean thread noodle mixed with some veggies. It's really fresh, and it's a room temperature type of salad, so it's not really hot, it's not cold.
I love that.
Yeah, spicy nuts, little crunch. We've got our some tomatoes and red onions. My favorite is a little, raw.
The produce is like so vibrant.
Yeah, shout out to all of our farmers that we work with to make the colors really pretty.
Cool.
Next we have our our flagship pho broth.
Oh my gosh,
so this is our beef pho.
Okay.
My favorite, we get this basil from Easy Bee Farms,
Okay.
purple basil. It has just a more unique flavor than other basils, and I really love the flavor of this one. So we get a combination of Thai basil and purple basil.
Oh, I love that.
This is all Wagyu beef sirloin. So this is
Gorgeous.
raw when it goes in there, when the hot broth cooks it as it's poured.
So just thinly sliced.
Yep,
Yeah,
super thinly
love
sliced,
that.
and then it really just melts in your mouth. We also throw a couple of chunks of the meat that's cooked in the broth.
Okay.
So yeah, some stew meat in there. It's also very tasty.
Love it.
And a little lime squeeze in there.
Gotta
some,
have it.
Some fresh herbs. In our
Your bean sprout.
Yep,
your...
and the noodles. Moving on, we've got our banh mi sandwich. So again, Amoroso rolls, which we use for the cheese sticks and the banh mi sandwiches.
love it.
This one is our pork. Got also chicken liver pate on there, mayonnaise, hoisin,
Love it.
lots of cilantro, almost
Of
like
course.
lettuce.
Yes.
Of course, the pickled daikon and carrot, and a little bit of serranos in there too. So we always
Little spice.
little spice.
Love it.
This is my daily commute right here.
Why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, I
eat
feel
this
like there's
thing
some
almost
passion
every
over
day.
here about that particular.
The pork belly comes from Snake River Farms. We have a pickled soft-boiled egg, pork belly, a little green onion garnish. But this, I mean, a lot of our dishes have evolved, but this has evolved with this sauce. It's made from apples. It's kind of like a sweet serrano
Serrano jam.
jam. Yeah.
Serrano jam.
Yeah,
I
so we
love
have a
that.
little bit of spice everywhere you go, just enough to like give it flavor, but not overwhelm the palate.
And then we have to talk about the beverages.
So this one is Moonlight Meadows. We've got
love
a Utah gin.
Okay.
Water Pocket Distillery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Love
shout out to
Water
what we love them.
Pocket.
Yeah,
Water
we use
Pocket
them a lot.
Distillery gin.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then like a lavender rose syrup bitters.
I mean, how fun, and are you making your syrups in-house?
Yeah.
I mean,
Always. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times we work with, again, our local farmers. If they've got more of this or more of that, we definitely do it seasonal. Lavender's obviously a great one. Rose as well.
I love rose anything. I mean,
Yeah.
like I've got my
I know,
rose
I
quartz
saw
mala
that.
on, yeah.
Represent.
Yeah, and we have
Exactly.
a couple of great mixologists back there
Oh,
in the back of the house, and they just are all about like what's new and exciting and fun, and we just try to keep it, very exciting for the people.
Let's talk about your two beverages, because I don't want,
Okay.
I don't want anyone
do
to
yours
miss
all
out.
first.
So this is the Elder Rye.
Okay.
This was on our menu when we first opened 6 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
And it's High West Double Rye.
Shout out to High West.
Shout out to High
I
West.
love High West.
Yep, grapefruit juice, Saint Germain, elderflower liqueur, a little bit of lime.
I love
and
that.
that's it. Little,
And grapefruit bitters, yeah.
a little bitters, and then a grapefruit garnish.
So that's almost like High West whiskey Paloma. Like that's
Oh,
your
yeah,
take on it. I
totally.
freaking love that.
Oh, yeah.
I really love
And
that.
it's either, we originally served it up, and now we're serving it on the rocks, and we have some old school locals that are like, can I get it up?
I love that. And then what are you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking the top shelf Guadarita. So
Ooh.
we've got Mezcal, Grand Marnier, a little lime, a little bit of simple syrup, and like a spicy, like a homemade kind of chili salt rim. with
And would
some
you
of these
say that
edibles.
flour is edible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Nasturtium, our friend
Mm-hmm.
Jen, or one of our good friends, has been growing her flowers for us in her backyard. Yeah.
That's great.
Cool. So you have to tell me about this coffee. Number one, why? And then tell me a little bit about the beans.
We chose to do pour over because no one else in Moab offers it.
Okay.
We've just tried to bring everything here that did not already exist. So,
It's really good.
so no one does the pour over, no one does the cold brew through the Yama Tower.
So like proper cold brew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
proper cold
Love
brew.
that.
And this particular brew roaster is called Curve Coffee.
Curve, and is that local Moab?
Yeah, that's a local
new
Yep.
word.
Very cool. I love the name.
Yeah.
Curve.
Yeah.
And then we
Curve.
also use Fresh Moab Coffee as another local roaster. We use
Fresh Moab.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like it's so much connection, right? You come to a space like this, and you're connecting with the land. You're connecting with like years and years and years of history and heritage, and then you're like connecting with your physical body because you're out there pushing yourself. You're hiking in hot sun, or you're riding the slick rock or the rivers, and you want to feel nourished and you want to feel nurtured.
Yeah.
And I think nurturing, especially in a restaurant, it starts with how you feel, like how a place makes you feel when you come in. But then when you sit and start eating,
how you feel then, and then how you feel after you're gone. Like Maya Angelou has this beautiful quote that I love, like, people might forget what you tell them or what you say to them, but they'll never forget the way that you make them feel. And I think spaces like this in places like Moab are so incredibly special.
Thanks.
Thanks.
98 Center in Moab has been crafting local flavor through an elevated and approachable menu that showcases local farmers and ranchers as the stars of pretty much every single dish they serve. They're committed to community by truly nourishing you with the freshest ingredients Moab's agricultural community has to offer, in a space that celebrates southeastern Utah's unique history and rich traditions.
How do you go about sort of doing your R&D and figuring things out?
I encourage everybody here to taste everything.
Yeah.
It's got to taste good. You have to taste everything before you serve it, right? And the bartenders are the same. They're like, okay, well, I made that, but I'm not really sure. And they'll adjust things throughout the night depending on feedback from customers a little bit. There's a lot of tasting to make sure that it's the quality and what we're looking for. So
I think what's so special about what you're doing is it is so community driven.
I mean, the community in Moab is, that's what brought me here from the beginning. I loved it every summer. I moved here, and my first summer here was 2000.
And where did you move from?
Salt Lake, but originally Philadelphia.
Yeah, so Philly, by way of Salt Lake, now Moab. What about you, Natalie?
I'm from Utah. Northern Utah.
Northern Utah.
Yeah.
She grew up on a farmer.
Farming.
Yeah, agricultural mecca. I mean, it's so special, and it's what Utah is known for, so it's so fun to be able to celebrate it.
Yeah, and that's, I think, why I cared so much about the connection of, like, us with the farmers, us with the community, big family, connect, like, the local vibe, knowing your farmer, especially your meat. That's huge. Like, especially for my dad, I was like, we got to know where our meat comes from. That's like that's the heart of the dish, you know. Or even the tofu or portobello. Like, that's also for vegetarians or vegans. It's the center of the plate.
Yeah.
So it's actually really important to have that relationship. So.
Well, and to know where your food comes from. And I think that's something that we love to do on Taste Utah, is not preach to people like, eat only farm to table, or eat only, what has been grown here or there. But it's educate yourself. Expose yourself to the amount of people who are just caring for the soil. Like, a farmer's first thing that they farm is the microbiomes in the soil, the flora and the fauna, and making sure something can grow in that soil.
Yeah.
You think about it. You think about who grew that cucumber, where did it come from, and what was the amount of effort that went into it.
Yeah, Paradox, actually.
Paradox Farms. Yeah,
Paradox
cool.
Produce, yep.
Produce, oh, awesome. I mean, and name some of the local farmers that you're supporting.
Youth Garden Project.
Okay.
They were one of the first, YGP.
Recently, it's Easy Bee Farms that does a lot of stuff for us. Paradox, we've gotten honey from them in the past, and we do actually a lot of
simple syrups.
Yeah, but every fall we get a few months worth of cucumbers from them. So
love that.
They're hand delivered to us.
It's so special, and like in Moab you can do that too, and then a farmer, it's like a field day to be like, hey, I have this and this and this, can you use it? And as a restaurateur, you're like, yeah, we'll figure out a way to. Like, how great to have this bounty.
Yeah. I think one cool thing too about when we're preparing the dish is like highlighting the farmer. Like, okay, making sure that really pretty pink radish gets seen, because there was so much hard work that went to that. So I think when grouping things to help celebrate and showcase, hard work.
It's like, I love the hat says local fusion, because
Yeah.
that really is what it is.
That's
such
our
a celebration.
tagline, yeah.
So your background is farm and agriculture, which is so cool. And then Alex, your background is in...
I've been working in restaurants for my whole life. So.
And your grandma too, she really helped you.
I just grew up in the kitchen, underfoot. So.
A Russian kitchen. Yeah. Can you imagine? Not grandpa, grandma's in there teaching him.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time cooking with my grandma.
Scary grandma.
Listen, my grandma was German. She did totally get that. Okay. They're family and they're so sweet, but there's also serious business. And how cool, to learn and have that handed down. I think that is also so special, to hear these stories of chefs who, like, the seed is in your heart because it is your family, that and these moments of inspiration and connection and growth and love that then cultivate the experience, like, sets the trajectory of the rest of your life, which is so cool. And I think those are the best food stories. I think those make the best meals. I think you could go to school for culinary, and there's nothing wrong with that. Going to school, like, so great, but there's nothing like
experiential learning.
Yeah, and that love that's passed down.
We gathered all the time for family dinners. Everybody would make food. All of her, like my aunts and uncles, everybody would bring dishes, and then we'd gather, we'd celebrate, we'd hang out, we would eat great food, and that's what I've done my whole life.
And that's what you're doing here. Like, it gives me chills. It's so, so special because not only did, like, your family give that to you, and then it integrated and you're embodying it, but now, like, that's what you're teaching everyone who works here. That's what you're teaching anyone who comes and eats here. Even if they don't have this conversation with you, they can feel it.
Yeah, well, it's reflected in a lot of our servers here, our managers. We've instilled them, this is the proper service, this is what we want to give, this is the vibe that we're trying to put out, and they've
the love language too.
And they've grappled onto that, and they're giving it out every day. Yeah. So it's awesome.
Hospitality is its own kind of language.
Oh, yeah.
People who work in the hospitality industry really are the salt of the earth. They love to serve. They want to make sure you have a good time. They spend their lives making sure that you're educated and having a good time wherever you go, which is so great. Whether it's somebody who's, like, going in and cleaning your room, or it's the dishwasher that's making sure all of the dishes are taken care of. It's the server at the table. It's the host. It's the restaurateur. It really is like this beautiful ecosystem in and of itself, which I think is so special. I mean, our employees really are the heart of our hospitality industry, and then it's folks like you that are willing to take the risk that become sort of like the stewards and the champions.
Well, cheers to that.
Yeah.
Like, to the hospitality
Cheers.
and all the people out there trying to make a great experience.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, chef. Now I'm calling you chef because we're in the kitchen, and that's
great.
just what you do. We're making these nachos.
We're going to do some nachos.
Looks like we're working with tofu and mushroom.
Yeah, so we're going to do a veggie nacho.
Oh, I love it, because you do offer a lot of different kind of dietary restriction offerings.
Yeah, it's one of the big ploys here is actually we do a lot of vegan stuff, vegetarian things. So what we have with meat, we can also do a very similar thing with vegetarian or vegan.
I love that. So if you come here, maybe ask, and you might just do something.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool. I love that.
Most of our menu is already tailored to that.
That's so, it's
a lot of gluten-free, a lot of vegan, a lot of vegetarian is already on our menu.
Okay.
So there's you just have to ask.
Okay, I love that. And I took my jewelry off, like my wrist, because you may or may not enroll my help.
So we're gonna do our nachos.
Okay.
Nacho bowl. Nacho chips.
Nacho bowl, not nacho chips. But I want them to be my chips. I want that to be my bowl.
That's
Just
right.
kidding, they're really bad pun. So are you making these chips in-house?
Yeah, we make these chips in-house.
Nice. They've got some, tell me about the seasoning on it.
So that's togarashi, shichimi togarashi. So it's a little bit of salt. So the chips themselves are spiced.
Yeah.
These are guerrero tortillas that we chop up and throw in the fryer. And we have, basically
So lovely.
a
Not
giant
greasy
bin
at all,
full.
nice and crunchy.
We chose regular corn tortillas because it's a thick chip. It's robust.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna hold up to the weight of the meat.
Yeah, and all the stuff that goes on it, right? Right.
I'm so excited. Okay.
So now here, this is where you can jump in.
Okay.
You're gonna grab some of our pickles.
Okay, like that, that much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and put it on.
Just kind of all over? Or
Yeah, one more tongue full.
Okay.
And even one more. Yep. Okay. Great.
Okay.
All right.
Done.
Now we start there, and then we're gonna do our cheese. So grab some of the cheese.
Okay. This looks like queso fresco.
Queso fresco.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that enough cheese?
That's great.
Okay.
Okay. So
You
now.
don't enough for me. I like this.
Yeah. So now we're gonna put the protein on.
Okay.
And I like to do a little slice.
Oh, love that. The bias.
Little bias. Yep.
Beautiful tofu.
And
you can just see that.
some big shiitakes here.
Yeah, the shiitakes, they're beautiful.
So this is now where we get our creme fraiche out.
Would you say you're making most of your sauces and such in-house?
Yeah, all of our sauces, all of our dressings are made in-house.
Yeah.
We really tailor to really good ingredients. So grapeseed oil in all of our dressings. It's not just regular
Oh,
soybean oil or
that's so
anything.
awesome.
So now we're gonna finish with cilantro. So if you
Okay.
want to grab some cilantro there.
Now,
and
like a generous portioning?
yeah,
or-
generous portion of cilantro.
I love cilantro. Some people don't, but like,
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
Yeah, even there you go. A little more.
okay.
A little more.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. Well, yes,
and then we're gonna top it off with our homemade kimchi, which is also.
Oh, look how beautiful.
So I'm gonna let you do that, but
Okay.
that's also vegan
Oh,
kimchi.
So totally vegan. Is
So
that
instead of
much
using
too
fish,
little?
that's great.
Because you want that texture, you want
Yeah,
that
so just
crunch.
just drop it on there.
Okay.
Yep, and we just let it pile up on the top.
Beautiful.
We do a couple of limes,
Okay.
and that's our nachos.
Chef, I mean, they look extraordinary. I love the flavors, the textures, the layers going on in that. Like, everything that you're doing here is just so refined. It's food that you do seek out after you've really engaged
Yeah.
in like some heavy activity, but it's food that it, like I said at the beginning, like it feels like a hug, but it fills you in a way that almost nothing can.
Yeah, and this one is like a group hug actually, because
Yeah.
you can share it with your friends.
You don't know me then. No, just kidding. I would share it with anyone. And this experience has just been extraordinary. Like, I can't wait to share 98 Center with the people of Utah and just let them know all of the extraordinary things that you're doing down here, and that you can come to Moab for Canyonlands and the national parks and arches, but that the food that you can get here, it really does parallel the extraordinary landscape. So the culinary landscape, the visual landscape, it's just a win-win.
I agree.
I'm gonna go find Natalie. We're gonna go share these. Is that
Okay,
cool?
that sounds
All
great.
right, you can come with us if you want.
Okay.